Hello, and welcome to the Get Lean and Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I'm a certified health coach, trainer, and author. And this podcast is for middle-aged men and women looking to optimize their health and get their bodies back to what it once was 10 to 15 years ago. I will give you simple, actionable items to get long-term sustainable results. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right, welcome to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I hope you had a great weekend, enjoying maybe some warmer weather. It's been unseasonably warm here in Chicago. I know some people that actually played golf this weekend. It's like 50s. But anyways, hopefully you'll watch maybe the Super Bowl. Enjoyed that. Really enjoyed actually the national anthem. I thought that was the best national anthem I've ever heard by Chris Stapleton. But anyways, the game itself turned out to be a good game, pretty close, and Kansas City turned out as the winner. So hopefully you enjoyed a nice Super Bowl with family and friends. And also, hopefully you listened to my interview with Chris and Eric Martinez with the Dynamic Fit Pros. They are just doing a lot of great work, and they work with coaches. They used to coach clients in health. Now they're helping coaches, scale their businesses online. So, but we touched on, flexible dieting, the importance of morning routines, how to perform effective cardio, and they had a ton of great tips. So definitely listen to Eric and Chris, episode 226, if you haven't already. They've been in the fitness industry for a long time, and really enjoyed meeting them. I'm actually going to be on their podcast coming up soon, so look out for that. And so with that being said, today's micro podcast is going to be on what I eat during the day. I was inspired by my good friend Brad Kearns with the B-Rad podcast, and he recently did a what he likes to call a breather episode on what he eats. And what I'll say with this is it's never static for me, but I do go through phases, and I like to self-experiment and see what works best, how I perform best, how's my energy. And I'm on a recent kick, and this is mainly from my interviews with Jay Feldman with Energy Balance podcasts, along with just talking with Brad. We've done a duo podcast together about sort of how to optimize what we're eating based on performance and recovery, as opposed to just like trying to perhaps even like lean out and have the best looking six pack you can have, which is not, in my terms, optimal health. And so I've been implementing more calories, more whole food carbs, mainly in the forms of some starches, but mainly fruit, and just seeing how I perform and how I recover. For a long time, I was fairly low carb and doing quite a bit of fasting, and it was a great run, and I enjoyed it. And I think everyone, if they haven't done it, I mean, I work with my clients and getting them into doing some type of fasting, because I think it's important. For one, it puts boundaries on your day, and it gives you sort of structure. It also can help with gut health and other issues, inflammatory issues that could come along with just eating a standard American diet. So they all play a role. If you want to call them concepts, whether it's carnivore, whether it's fasting, whether it's low carb. And again, it's about finding out what your goals are, and then also what have you done in the past, and sort of what can you tolerate. And when I say tolerate, some people can tolerate certain vegetables, some people can't. Some people can tolerate certain fruits, some people can't. So it is sort of a one-off depending on the individual. But for myself, I'm going to sort of walk you through, my day now as a how I eat. Not every single thing I do in the day. That'll be a long podcast, but just what I eat in the day, just to give you an idea. Like I said, my calorie count has gone up. I know calories aren't everything, I can tell you that, but they do play a role. But I've been adding in just whole fruits, mainly some starches, and I've enjoyed it so far. I've enjoyed it. There definitely was an adjustment period, because I was used to fasting quite into the day, And I've opened up my fasting window. Gosh, it depends on the day, but around 9:30, 10 o'clock is typically when I open up my eating window. Um, so let's go through that right now, huh? This is exciting, isn't it? Um, so typically get through my morning routine, um, which is taking the dogs for a walk, doing some movement, or writing in my journal. And once I get past that, then I typically just have some tea in the morning. Surprisingly enough, I got into tea. I had COVID. I don't know, it's probably 6 months ago, give or take. And just had the only thing I had from COVID was a sore throat. And I was like, okay, I need some tea. So that like got me into tea, which was good. I mean, I would have tea from time to time, but back in the day, like green tea a lot. But now that got me back into it. So I have tea in the morning. And after I have tea in the morning, I usually do a little bit of work and then I break my fast. And this has been the biggest change for me is adding in this first meal a little bit earlier. So now I typically have 3 meals a day. And for one, it's easier for me to get enough food in the day when I do that. I was going at 2 meals a day for a long time, occasionally even 1 meal a day on some days, but getting enough calories and getting enough protein was the big issue. I still like to work out a lot and stay active. So I just need to make sure that I'm getting enough, or I've always had an issue where I don't want to get too lean. I look back at some pictures and videos that I've done a year ago, and I'm like, God, I was pretty lean back there. I was probably around 170. Now I was 170, 172. Now I'm probably about 178 to 180. And I just think it's a better weight for me. So either way, I've been adding in this third meal. It's been probably now, I have to look back. I have done some DEXA scans. I'm going to do another one coming up here. And it's probably been like 6 months of adding this in, give or take 4 to 6 months, I'd say. So how I break my fast, blueberries. I have a cup of blueberries typically, blueberries or blackberries. Then usually I have another piece of fruit. Could be an orange, could be a banana, and with that, I usually have a cup of Greek yogurt with it, organic Greek yogurt, or some type of whole milk organic cottage cheese, and something that doesn't have any hormones in it. So definitely going for quality there. None of this low fat skim stuff. You want to stay away from that. So that's what I'll do is I'll have usually a couple pieces of fruit, maybe a cup of blueberries, an orange, some Greek yogurt, and then I'll add in occasionally. Actually, I have one right here if you're watching on YouTube. This no junk protein bar made by Papa Steve's. I found these a while back, got away from them. Now I'm back into them. I will say I would advocate for whole foods as opposed to having maybe like a bar like this is. But if you're going to have something, I mean, this is quality. Organic, grass fed whey protein. This one has peanut butter. I'm not a huge peanut butter person. I mean, I love peanut butter, but I don't advocate for eating too much of it. But it does have organic peanut butter, organic dates, organic apples, organic cinnamon, and then a few other organic cocoa powder, and so cocoa butter. The macros on this are solid 20 grams of protein. I think sometimes I like to add bars in it just to get a little bit more in as far as calories is concerned and protein. It's just easier. I mean, again, a lot of times I do make myself food, but something like this with it where I know the ingredients that are going in it, and it doesn't doesn't have anything bad in it, so makes it easier just to start the day. So usually that's what I have the first thing in the morning. There's so much on why I have blueberries. I'm not going to go into that, but they are so nutrient dense as far as the fruit is concerned. They have a decent amount of fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, manganese. They also supply vitamin E and copper. So Yeah, if you're looking for a solid fruit, I would definitely advocate for blueberries. And that's typically my first meal. It's probably about 500 to 700 calories. And I've been putting on a chronometer every so often. I don't think you need to track your macros and calories every day, but do it for a week or two just to see where you're at. So I usually have that, let's say 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then I wait, do some more work, maybe go for one more W with the dogs or walk. I don't like to say it too loud because they're around here somewhere. And then I work out. So that was another sort of change. I used to work out, in a fasted state. Now I've been working out with, a little bit of food in me, and it's been fine. I usually wait at least 2 hours. So um, I think it's helped my lifts a bit. I can't say there's some like prophetic change, but it does make a difference. It can definitely help. And so yeah, trying to put on muscle, right? Which should be the goal for all of us, or maintain or put on muscle. We don't want to lose muscle, especially when we get 40 plus. So definitely that's something that I work on with all my clients. And then after the workout, I don't like rush to go eat, but I usually have something around, let's just say 2 to 30 in that range. And usually it'll be eggs, 4 eggs, maybe some avocado. Add in, if I didn't have cottage cheese or something, maybe I'll put some cottage cheese in there, or lox, some type of protein on top of that, even though you're getting the eggs as well. So sometimes I'll have the eggs just, over easy, or sometimes I'll scramble them. It just depends. So that's usually my next meal. So the middle meal is nothing crazy. And then usually my next meal after that. So let's just say I have a meal around 9:30, 10. Next one, let's just say around 2. And then my final meal of the day is probably around 5:30. My wife and I, we are early bird eaters. And that's probably just come into play because I like to be done eating at least 3 hours before I go to bed. And if I'm eating at 7:30, 8 o'clock, that's too late. So, if you could get your meals in earlier when the sun's up, well, now we're getting longer days, which is nice because we're out of the dead of winter here in Chicago. So we usually eat around 5:30, done eating around 6:30, typically 6:30, I'd say. And what do we have for dinner? Um, Usually it's some type of fish, some type of meat. My wife does like to cook, so I'm very lucky. Um, Sometimes we'll grill, either like maybe a ribeye or a strip steak or a filet, or we have these blends, or these ground meat blends from Force of Nature, and they have some great products, Force of Nature. So definitely check them out if you're looking for some good ground beef. Or they have ground beef, they have ground elk, bison, gosh, what else? Venison, lamb. So Force of Nature. Then I get US Wellness Meats. I get the meat, and a lot of times what I'll do is I'll get them every month, and then just stack the freezer, and then the night before we just decide what we're going to have and just take it out the night before. So highly recommend that, so you don't have to go shopping every 2 days for your meat. If you could get it local, that would be great. But I get a lot of my meats from some of these great companies online, like Force of Nature, US Wellness Meats. I had the owner of Seatopia on. I still get Seatopia, their seafood, which is actually all their fish are in like a controlled setting, so you know what you're getting as far as what they're eating, and you don't have to worry about microplastics or heavy metals and things like that. So if you haven't heard my interview with the owner of Seatopia, definitely check that out. Anyways, great company. If you love sushi, check it out. Then maybe some type of shrimp. Sometimes we'll mix it up and have a shrimp dish. But my wife does like to make like bolognese or meatballs. Even sometimes she'll make me liver. I know that's can be liver or heart. I don't do that all the time. Maybe once or twice a month. So that's like what the dinner is. It's based around a protein. You want to prioritize protein with each meal, and that's how we do that. So, do we have anything with the meats? Yeah, of course. Sometimes we've added in some. We'll make some sweet potato, or some type of other vegetable, maybe carrots or onions, mushrooms, with the meal as well. I do like. I forgot to mention, and now I'm drawing a blank. Palmini. Palmini. It's like a it's looks like pasta, but it's not. It's so they make all different types of let me just look this palmini. We get it so much I gotta mention it. Yeah, so it's like a low carb linguine, made from hearts of palm. That's what it is. Made from hearts of palm. Really enjoy it. So definitely check out Palmini. Again, I'm not getting paid for any of these companies. I've not taken on any sponsors or affiliates, really, mainly with these companies that I've been mentioning. But palmini is a great one if you wanted to add into maybe we're making some like a meat sauce, like a bolognese, and then you could put some linguine or any type of noodle that you like. Pretty much, I think they have most of the noodles that you can get, and it's not, you're not having actual pasta, but it does taste very good. I will say we have it a lot. Um, so that's a typical dinner. And then, people ask me, well, do you splurge? I mean, I like to splurge. I mean, I used to love like peanut butter and jelly. That was like my thing. But I think now that I've gotten older, I splurge on things, but I try to like splurge on them in like a healthier way. So, like, for example, there's a company called Egglife. Egglife egg white wraps. I recommend this a lot with my clients, and it's just like a wrap with like nothing in it, just like egg whites, a few fillers, because they obviously have to make it last for a little while, but you keep them in the fridge and you can put anything you want on them. So typically what I'll do is, since I loved peanut butter and jellies back in the day, I don't do a traditional peanut butter and jelly, but I'll put it like a sprouted almond butter. There's a company called Philosopher Foods that makes a sprouted almond butter. And I'll have that, maybe cut up a banana and put that in there, or have some type of organic jelly and put that, depending on how I'm feeling. So that's like my splurge after my meal. Um, and I don't know, I enjoy it. It's something that it's not like I'm having a legit, not that you can't have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every once in a while, but this is my way of justifying having it, is, having something like an egg white wrap with sprouted almond butter and jelly, or butter, or I'm sorry, or banana. And then sometimes I'll have a little bit of a granola. I love granola. Used to make it myself, but I should get back to that. Haven't made it in a while, but it's not that difficult to make. But there's a company called Lark Ellen Farm, and sprouted granola. I'll put links in the show notes for some of these products so you can just like quickly check them out. Again, I'm not getting paid by any of these companies, but I want to give you some suggestions when it comes to this, so you're prepared. And I usually have that with some type of like coconut milk or even goat milk from time to time. I stay away from almond milk. I don't know. We all know that too many almonds, just like too much spinach has, lectins. It can have, these phytonutrients that aren't so good for you. So again, you can have almonds from time to time. You just don't want to overdo it. And I just gotten away from almond milk, and I usually have like a coconut milk, or even goat milk. So best ways to try to get these lectins out of the foods is just sprout them. So if you are going to have like almonds or nuts, if you can get them sprouted, that's what I usually typically do, is these sprouted granolas help remove a lot of the anti-nutrients. So just a quick tip there. So that's what I got for you. That's a day. That's a typical day right there for me. Hopefully this helps and gives you some insight into what I do. Now, this could change in the next few months, but for right now, this has worked for me. And again, my reasoning for adding more calories and adding more, first of all, most people are under eating anyways. and they're not eating nutrient-dense foods. So that's the goal, is you don't really want to be under eating all the time, especially drastically. And you want to make sure that you're eating nutrient-dense foods, because that's going to keep you full and satiated, especially if you prioritize protein. So I'm all about supporting my performance and recovery goals and maximizing what's called cellular energy. And so this has been my goal over the last 6 months or so, and that's why I eat this way. So it all just depends on your goals. So hopefully this helps. If you got any questions, email me, brian@briangrin.com. And if you love the podcast, I would love a review and a rate, and rate it if that'd be great. A 5-star would be wonderful. I don't take any sponsors or anything like that. So just want to give you sponsor-free listening, at least for now. And hope you're enjoying that. So that's what I eat for the day, and hopefully you enjoy it. If you have any questions, again, brian@briangrin.com. And look out for my book coming out soon. I'll definitely give you a heads up on that. Have a great rest of the week, and I will talk to you on Friday. Thanks for listening to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. I understand there are millions of other podcasts out there, and you've chosen to listen to mine, and I appreciate that. Check out the show notes at briangrin.com for everything that was mentioned in this episode. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend or family member that's looking to get their body back to what it once was. Thanks again, and have a great day.